Welcome to Line Mountain Studio's 5th video tutorial. Today we'll be looking at space time, which is basically looking at musical timing in the context of the Ableton workspace. So if you've been following these tutorials on beat making and you've been having a great time choosing samples and loading them into Impulse or Drum Rack, but you actually get totally stuck when it comes to programming a rhythm, then you'll want to pay attention to this tutorial. We're going to look at the space where you organize the rhythm of the beats, and we'll cover some simple tricks that will get you started making beats that sound in time in the hip-hop style. So I'll just load a drum rack here so we can get started. Now the thing about hip-hop is that there's these typical formulas that you can follow when you get started. And now you'll want to break out of these in the long run to kind of make your own style, but it's often handy to start with formulas to kind of break the ice. So some of those formulas that you might have heard about were like, put the kick on the first and the third beat and put the snare on the second and the fourth, but what does it all mean, you ask? Like, where are these beats and how do I do that? So first let's listen to some music and see what happens when we count along. Now when we work in typical 4/4 timing, which is pretty much everything you're going to hear on the radio, time is counted in lots of 4. So we can listen to this and count along.
What you decide, is that the pride that you add beside? I can see deep in your eyes.
3/4 timing does exist. You would have heard it, but not as often. Let's have a listen to that. These groups of beats that we've been counting over and over again are referred to as bars. So the first time we were counting groups of 4, and they were in 4/4 bars, and the second time we were counting groups of 3 in 3/4 bars. So whenever you create a clip in Ableton Live by clicking on a track, you by default create a 4-beat, 1-bar loop. Let's have a look at that. When we press play and turn on the metronome, it counts the beats of the bar for us, and the high-pitched note is accentuating the first beat of the bar so it's obvious when the loop is starting again. We can also see here that the timing is written down in the top of the clip information area. The first number is referring to which bar we're in, and because this is a 1-bar clip, it's all number 1, and these other numbers note the beats in the bar. Here is beat 2 in bar 1, here is beat 3 in bar 1, and here is beat 4. So if you were asked to create a beat with the snare on the second and the fourth beat, and the kick on the third and the first, you could just do it like this. Look for the snare, find the second beat, click. Look for the fourth beat, double click. Look for the kick. Find the first and third beats and double click there. So that's the secret to following the formulas. Now about the formulas, let's have a little bit more of a look into that. You might have also heard about something called swung 16ths or 16th triplets, particularly big in the older school styles. Now to do that, you're going to need to change the patterning of the grid. All you need to do is just right-click to bring up that menu and select your new timing. Now this one's called Triplet Grid. Now notice when you select it, you'll get a little T that turns up next to your grid resolution number down there on the right. A super secret keyboard shortcut to get a triplet grid in any timing is just to hold Control and then press 3. That's on a PC. In a Mac, you're going to have to hold down the Apple or Command key and then press 3. And so if I just draw some of these in, once I'm in the T triplet grid, you'll be able to hear that kind of old school swing feel. Okay, so let's turn our attention now to what some real-life people do with this timeline. A great way to build new beats is to study where other people are placing them in the timeline. So let's welcome Snoop Dogg to our video clip. Hi Snoop. I'm just going to have a listen to this track and I'm going to concentrate on copying down where the kick and the snare are. So I know that it's 92 BPM. I can just change that there in the tempo field before we go. Let's hit it. Thanks, Snoop. Now notice when we play this beat that there's no kick on the third beat, but he's got a few extras in there to kind of give it that swing feel. We're obviously missing a few elements, but imagine that we could take this in a new direction now for a track of our own. Okay, now moving a little further back into history where the BPM was a little higher, we're going to welcome Run DMC to do their stuff. So we'll just create a new track there to draw our beats into. Change the tempo, and for the purposes of this one, I'm going to make it a 132 grid so we can fit all those little hi-hat actions that Run DMC like to do in there. And now here we have all the typical kick on the first and the third, snare on the second and the fourth, and there's a whole lot of other hot extras in there with this example too. So now let's have a look at how we can import somebody else's track into our Ableton session so we can start to copy their beats. Number 1, have your impulse or drum rack ready with the beats that you want to copy already inside. A kick, a snare, clap and hats are a good start, but you can add others as you realize that you need them. Number 2, make sure that you know the tempo of the song and that you have that already set up in the tempo field. There's lots of ways that you can find out the tempo, but the old internet search is probably the easiest one to mention here. Number 3, you'll need to import the song into an audio clip by dragging it from the left browser window directly into the audio track. Note that I said the audio track here and not the MIDI, that's quite important. The hardest thing about this is going to be actually finding the track inside your computer. I keep mine in the music folder, so I'll just look there in music and drag the track that I want there into the audio track. Number 4, you've got to make sure that the track actually starts playing at the beginning of a bar. If the beginning of the track is some random sample, then everything is going to be out of time. So the easiest way to do that is just to go into the audio track in that information area below and drag what's called the playhead that tells the track where to start playing. Drag it until the first beat, and that'll usually be the first biggest squiggly line that you come across. Number 5, make another clip to program the beats into. That's the one that you're going to draw into. So make that next to the clip where the audio track is, so they're part of the same scene. And then number 6, press play on the scene to start the song at the same time as your clip. And then you can just start drawing beats in and deleting them as you realize that you're getting them right or making mistakes.
See something in your pants that can't be real. Don't hold back, baby. Tell me what's the deal. I gotta move.
Once you've got a start, stop the other person's track and take your one in a new direction, somewhere where you'd like it to go. That's it for our space-time tutorial today. Hopefully this has given you a bit more of a grasp on how to draw in your beats into the clip information area. Stick around for our next tutorial, which will be introducing synthesizers so we can get some bass lines happening over our beats.